Hey, today I'll be reviewing Pushing Daisies Seasons 1 and 2. If you haven't heard of Pushing Daisies, it's a comedy drama that ran on ABC from 2007 to 2009. The premise is kind of hard to explain. It's very quirky, I guess you could say. The premise revolves around a pie maker named Ned, played by Lee Pace. Now Ned has a special gift. He can touch a dead thing, boop, and it comes back to life. But there are a few rules that go along with this gift. First, if he touches the dead thing again, it's dead forever. It can never come back to life. And second, if he doesn't touch the dead thing again within 1 minute, something else dies. He teams up with a sarcastic, knitting detective named Emerson Codd, played by Shy McBride, who is one of the best characters ever on TV, to solve murders by bringing the dead victims back to life and finding out who killed them. They collect the reward money and split it. This works out pretty well for them until one day the murder victim that Ned has to bring back to life is his childhood sweetheart, Charlotte Charles, played by Anna Friel, who he affectionately calls Chuck. Ned can't bring himself to re-dead Chuck. And here begins our story. The other main characters we see are Olive Snook, played by Kristen Chenoweth, who is just so cute you want to just put her in your pocket like a tiny little kitten, and Chuck's two maiden aunts, played by Swoosie Kurtz and Ellen Green, who were once a synchronized swimming team called the Darling Mermaid Darlings. Now season 1 basically revolves around Emerson and Ned solving murders while trying to keep Chuck out of the limelight so that people don't know she's alive again, as well as Ned and Chuck trying to have a romance without actually being able to physically touch. They also have to try and keep a suspicious Olive, who is a waitress at Ned's restaurant called the Pie Hole, from finding out Chuck's secret. Now season 1 is incredibly funny. There's lots of like double entendres and even a few musical numbers by Kristen Chenoweth. It's mostly a different murder every week, and there's not really a lot of character development except for Ned, but it's still definitely worth a watch. And while it is basically a show about murder, the deaths are always handled in a kind of funny way. I mean, they're not scary or mean. It's all very lighthearted. Now in season 2, they delve more into the lives of the different characters. There's still usually a murder that has to be solved, but the main focus is on the characters. Some of the twists and turns that it takes don't really make a lot of sense, but it's still quite entertaining. Now the show got canceled at the end of season 2, but they do manage to kind of wrap up things in post-production. They add a scene which literally lasts like less than 2 minutes, and in that time it ties up almost every single loose end. While it does feel really rushed, it's better than leaving it wide open, I guess. As for the DVDs themselves, they both look and sound awesome. The vivid color palette, which gives the show its trademark fairy tale feel, really pops, looking both vibrant and crisp. I can only imagine that it would look even better on Blu-ray. This being said, the computer-generated sets do look a little dated, but that actually works in its favor as this lends to the show's otherworldly aspect. Its letterbox presentation also gives it a cinematic feel. Audio quality is excellent in Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound, which highlights the musical score by Jim Dooley. Season 1 is a 3-disc set, with all discs easily accessible with a middle hinge section. And it's gorgeous looking with a restaurant motif, the information insert looking like a menu, and the disc like individual pies. I love it when a company actually gives a crap about design. This is beautiful. The season 1 set also includes interactive featurettes as well as special interviews from creator Brian Fuller, actor Lee Pace, as well as others. Season 2 is a 4-disc set. This time it's a honey motif with images of the different characters highlighting the disc. This set also includes cast interviews as well as interactive content. So if you like a show that's very quirky, that's very visually stimulating, with funny characters and a dash of whimsy, Pushing Daisies is the show for you. Give it a watch.